Mirror Meditation Q&A number 2. So I have a few more questions to address about mirror meditation, and let's get started with that. But before we do, I'd appreciate it if you would like this channel, share it with one other person you think might be interested, and please subscribe so you get information about the next video that's dropped. Okay, so the question is, can mirror meditation be done with others? There's two ways to answer this question. So if you mean like in a group with everyone doing something with their own mirror, absolutely. And that can be really positive and helpful because the shared intention helps to elevate the energy of the space. But the other way this can be looked at is perhaps a more difficult and challenging way to apply it, and that is to work with a partner and have the other person take on the role as mirror. Now, this can be extremely powerful and helpful, but like I said, it is a bit more challenging, and really both people need to understand their roles, and the person who's being the mirror actually has the harder job. Because if you think about it, a mirror is completely objective. It does not share any kind of feedback. And of course, as humans, we're conditioned to nod in agreement or, show expressions of empathy and that sort of thing. But the person playing the mirror isn't allowed to do that. They have to be very objective and very blank, like a mirror. Now, the person who is reflecting into the mirror, they have to be willing to be seen, to drop their masks, and it's a very vulnerable position. So this is only something you would ever want to do with someone you trust. The more you practice with someone in this way, you might find that the roles start to become more of a dance, and you go back and forth through them, and it can be a really beautiful experience. Next question. I'm way too freaked out to look at myself in a mirror, but I really want to try this. Okay, so that wasn't exactly a question, but you get the idea. So you're not alone if that's the case. If you feel uncomfortable looking at yourself, it is because of years of conditioning to not accept ourselves as we are. That's just part of our culture, unfortunately. Just remember that there's nothing lacking in your appearance, and there's nothing wrong with you. If these feelings are coming up, then there's something that you need to sit with and examine to see if where they come from and if they have any validity whatsoever. And of course, the truth is they don't. There's a site called onlinemirror.com, and this is a great inroad to working with a mirror, an actual mirror. And it's like, a camera phone, which I suppose you could also use. But rather than having to look at yourself directly, it is simply an image of you, and you're not, directly engaging with yourself in front of a mirror. So it's just a kind of a little baby step toward working with an actual mirror. And of course, the camera phone can work too. You just don't want to get stuck with working with a camera phone. I know that vlogging, that style of kind of journaling aloud to yourself with a phone, it's not really mirror meditation because you're not able to look directly into the lens and into your own eyes at the same time. So there's a disconnect there that we wouldn't necessarily want eventually. But it's a good way to start. Okay, and another question, and I think this one is really important because, there is some judgment out there about looking at ourselves in the mirror and narcissists and all that. So let me address that. This all seems to be a bit narcissistic. Staring at yourself in a mirror and loving yourself. Isn't that all just self-absorption? Let's hope so. And what I mean by that is the more that you gaze into the mirror, the more your idea and identification with self is absorbed. You know, if we're using mirror meditation to simply glorify or fall in love in a very superficial way with our own image, then yeah, that's not going to do anybody any good. And it's not just our own image, it's the images that we may see in the mirror, you know, those attaching to those is also not going to help. Remember, we want to get beyond all these superficial layers and continue to go deeper and deeper into meditation with the mirror to find what is there underneath all that. And it becomes very evident with the mirror. You know, mirror meditation is a practice of peeling back layer upon layer of mistaken identity. And when we feel that, we can't help but also feel the mystery and the love that is beneath all things. And that's a love that is a far cry from self-centered, self-obsessed, narcissistic loving. It's our true nature. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions that you'd like answered or any comments about mirror meditation, feel free to add those here. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye-bye.